Hi,
guys.
everybody.
It's Sandra.
And Josh.
And we're
The Piece of Happiness.
And we crack ourselves up. We're coming at you fresh off of a little vacay in Colorado. It was super fun. We had a really good time. We totally didn't plan at all how we were going to eat on the way up there.
Nope.
We took like some bananas and apples and pears and I think Brazil nuts with us on the way, and that was pretty cool. We ended up stopping at a couple really cool places. One was a coffee shop that had some cool vegan options, and then another was a random gas station in Pueblo, Colorado.
We just stopped to get gas and then noticed, oh, this place serves food, and they had basically like Chipotle style selection, and we got veggie bowls. It was way better.
Yeah,
actually.
It's really good.
And we stopped at like a grocery store, got just a box of salad and split it between us. So yeah, that was very easy.
Vegan style. Yeah, but that's not actually what the topic of this video is about. Although it is about our Colorado trip. We wanted to make a little bit of a little video about our experience on our trip to and from Colorado, because I mean, I don't know about you, but it was very very different and very much more emotional than we really thought it would be. Why don't you tell the story?
Well, basically, I mean, I've seen slaughterhouse trucks a few times in my life, and over the course of this trip, I saw more than I'd seen in my life.
Yeah. I think it was Tex Line where we saw the first one.
Yeah, we
really
took the fastest
up.
route from mid-Texas to Colorado, and it took us through a lot of Texas back highways. Basically, about 10 hours of the trip was through Texas on these back highways, and so we saw ranch after ranch, tons of cattle, tons of cows. And that was to be expected, of course. Ranches are out there. But, of course, also out of sight are the slaughterhouses and the caged animal feeding operations, the CAFOs, where they transport these cows to be prepared for slaughter.
Right. And we could see that, as we're traveling on these back highways, like, keep in mind, this land is ridiculous. Like, these ranches own hundreds of acres. So when we're seeing, what we assume are CAFOs, we're seeing them from, like, way far away. They're just on the horizon. We did see a couple of lagoons, but again, just on the horizon. It was really, really hard to see. So this whole time we're discussing, like, there's one, and look at that one.
And we can see the pens that they use to hold them during in between transport, and the rows that go beyond our sight from the beginning of the ranch.
Right. And in Tex Line was the first time that we came into contact with a slaughter truck head on. We were T-bone stopped. Traffic was going this way, and we were stopped this way. And everybody was at a standstill, and we come face to face, stopped with this truck carrying cattle.
Yeah, with 2 truckfuls.
Yeah, it was 2 layers. So there was, a layer here of cattle. I mean, crammed in as tightly as they could possibly be crammed in. And
reminded me of so many of the videos that we've seen, and of the pig saves and videos like that, and you can see them, and they were right in front of us, suffering and jostling with every shaking of the truck and bracing themselves and afraid, and we know for a fact that they're hungry and thirsty, and they don't have to be fed for as long as they can be kept alive before slaughter. It's all part of the mathematics that runs this industry, that treats them as property.
And so that was really hard. I mean, seeing them up close like that was so different, because I mean on top of what Josh said, you could feel it. You could feel the fear emanating. You could see them trying to stick their tongues out and lick the side, like searching for moisture. It was hot. I mean, we're talking about, this is June in Texas, like right now. It was sweltering hot outside, and it was really a difficult experience, because again, seeing them on the highway is nothing like staring, these cattle in the eye, knowing what their fate is. And so that was really hard. That was definitely eye-opening. But I think it was, for me anyways, on the way back, that was like the most devastating. So on our way to Colorado, we left Texas at like 5 a.m. You know, it's a 13-hour trip. So we got there, you know, I think after stops like 8, you know, 7, 8, 9 o'clock or whatever. Mm-hmm. But on our way back, we didn't leave Colorado till like 2 o'clock. We decided to drive all the way through the night. And we get back into Texas, you know, 3-4 hours into our trip. And it's dark now on all of these back Texas highways. And we start seeing truck after truck after truck after, what was it, like a 15, 20, 30 mile range or something, where that's all we passed were just slaughter trucks. Because we're talking about a 2-lane highway. No lights. We're driving with our brights on. There are no other cars passing us. There are just slaughter trucks. And it hits me that, of course, they're going to travel on the back roads in the middle of the night. Nobody wants to see this. And I started thinking back to sitting there, you know, at that intersection and looking at all the other cars around me. And the other human beings were just as devastated as I was. Maybe not quite as devastated because they weren't totally aware of what's going on, but they were uncomfortable with it too. So,
of course, the industry knows people don't want to see this. It's inevitable that these trucks will drive in the daylight and through these junction towns, but for the most part, the operation is built out of sight and where people don't need to go.
Total secrecy.
And so at night, we saw countless trucks driving to and from the slaughterhouses.
And it's like, it's kept so well out of the sight of human beings. That was what our first video was about ag-gag laws. And the links that this industry goes to keep you and all of us from seeing.
They have legal protection set up, and for a long time they have it set up geographically, like we're talking about. It is all on back roads and routes that we do not have to take.
Right. And so.
But take them once, and you'll see how many trucks, how active this operation is 24/7, 365.
And it just. Yeah, it was both devastating and like empowering at the same time, because I keep getting emotional thinking about it, because we see them, you know, I've seen them in town here. You know, we live very close to San Antonio. Like we're in a metropolitan, you know, like kind of city, you know, so it's uncommon, but we see them on the road. And it was like seeing it in that capacity made me feel like just screaming, you know, like this is what these animals are going through. There are so many people that don't realize that that's what's happening. And this is why we wanted to tell this story. This is why we wanted, because this is happening. It's not just happening, you know, in our city. It's happening in your city. It's happening everywhere, all the time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The slaughter
all over the nation and every major nation.
It is going on. And we as human beings have this amazing privilege and opportunity that we can speak for these sentient beings. These beings that are being born, bred, and tortured into an industry so that we can enjoy the way that their bodies taste. And it made me want to just shout at everyone there, like, you know, like to get out and immediately start protesting, like this is what's happening, why don't you see it? And so I think it's really important, you know, if you are with your non-vegan friend and you're in a car and you see a transport truck that's headed for slaughter, tell them what that is. Explain to them what those animals are going through. Don't be shy. Like a moment of you annoying them with your, you know, silly vegan thing is nothing compared to what these animals are going through. Like, speak up for them, because this is real and it's happening behind closed doors on dark highways with no lights so that you can't see it. And that's insane.
And your friends and family deserve to hear the truth anyway.
Absolutely. How can you love someone when you do not try to make them aware of what they don't see? That's hurting them and hurting the world around them. And so, especially if you live near a meat packing facility, if you are familiar with like a CAFO or a factory farm, if you're more comfortable with that term, please drop us a comment, either here or head over to our Facebook, the Peas of Happiness at facebook.com. Tell us about your story. You know, I think it's really important that we tell our stories as human beings and we speak for these animals, because they cannot tell the stories for themselves.
We have to lend them our voice.
Absolutely, absolutely. So guys, if you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Like I said, head over to the Facebook. Hopefully you guys are going to be seeing more of Josh now that he's out of school.
Yes.
We are working very hard to make animal activism for animal rights our full-time gig. We are so extremely passionate about using our voices to speak for the animals. So yeah, until next time, keep living your peaceful, positive, plant-powered lives, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.